Thanks for joining us today. My name is Hasan Deniz, and I am delighted to welcome you today. I serve as the director of the Center for Math Science and Engineering Education. I am thrilled to be joined by my wonderful colleagues. So they are all proud UNLV College of Education alumni, and we are excited to share this. We are excited to share this session with you, and they are going to introduce themselves one by one. Please.
Thank you, Dr. Deniz. Hello, everyone. I'm Ezgi Silyurt, an assistant professor of science and STEM education at Utah State University. As Dr. Deniz mentioned, I'm a former UNLV student and completed my PhD there. And also, Dr. Deniz was my advisor. So we started working together on NSF grants years ago and continue to collaborate today. Thank you for joining the webinar.
Hello, everyone. My name is Refika Turgut, and I am an associate professor of literacy and language education at University of South Carolina Upstate. And I also earned my PhD from UNLV. And at US Upstate, I teach graduate level courses on the education of multilingual learners, as well as undergraduate level literacy courses for teacher candidates. And thank you for joining us today.
Hi everyone, I'm Kaya and I'm an assistant professor of computer science and AI education at the University of Texas at Arlington, and we are so excited to be here.
Thank you, Erdoğan. Next slide, please. Our work is funded through the two NSF CS for All grants. The first project, running from 2021 to 2025, focuses on developing integrated computer science curricula for elementary classrooms. So the second project, which began in 2024, specifically targets AI literacy through educational robotics. So both projects represent collaborative efforts across multiple institutions that are designed to ensure that all students, regardless of background, have access to high-quality computer science and AI education. So the content of this presentation actually is coming from these two projects. So let me introduce our team a little bit more formally. So I'm the PI for these two projects, and Drs. Kaya, Yeşilyurt, and Turgut are my co-PIs. Dr. Erdoğan Kaya brings expertise in computer science education integration with STEM. Dr. Ezgi Yeşilyurt specializes in integrated STEM and science education. Dr. Refika Turgut is our expert in literacy and language education. So Dr. Elif Edebali Şahin from Turkey collaborates with the team voluntarily, and she brings expertise in STEM education and STEM teacher PD. So she is also a proud UNLV College of Education alumnus. So we also have excellent support from our graduate research assistants, Dilara Karazorluoğlu and Burak Şahin. So they were excellent help for us in terms of trying our curriculum and collecting data, writing papers, and presenting in conferences. It's really, we cannot do this without their help. So we also have a larger team. So these are our collaborators, practitioner collaborators. So they are across the country. So what we do is when we develop our curriculum, we are testing our curriculum, and then we are asking these experts in computer science STEM education give us feedback while we are trying it. So when the development phase, when we are at the beginning, so we are quickly developing and testing our curriculum materials in a way that they are classroom ready. So again, Anna Friend and Dr. Zekeriya Göbakan, Arlene Heyman, Rita Ridgway, and Dr. Kadir Bahar. So they are excellent collaborators, and Dr. Bahar is also our external evaluator. So our projects have four interconnected goals. So we are developing curriculum units that integrate computer science and AI concepts with math, science, and language arts. Second, we provide extensive professional development to elementary teachers who often haven't had any training in computer science and AI education. So we are researching how these work affects teacher confidence and identity as computer science and AI teachers. Finally, we are examining student outcomes, not just their computer science and AI knowledge, but also their identity as computer scientists and attitudes towards AI. So basically, both projects, this is our general goals that for our project. So we are trying to developing curriculum, providing professional development, and then doing research on student and teacher outcomes. This is the common theme that we are using for both projects. So let's take a look at this video, and then I will talk about this a little bit.
So our code is basically when we put a code such as go, then our robot will go forward.
So, for example, if you put it right at the
You
camera,
move out of the
move out of the camera, it'll go.
and then turn back and turn back. Give me the go.
What? No way. I'm jealous. Ow. He has favorites. Everyone has favorites. Oh, you did. No way. Still missing the club. I did it. What is going on? All over. Yeah, that's great. I messed up. I'll take it.
Okay, anyways, that's how our code works.
Okay, so here you can see students working with our Finch robot to explore image recognition concepts. These students are programming the Finch robot to navigate through the maze based on visual inputs. So we make this powerful. So what makes this powerful is that students are experiencing how AI systems see the world. They are training the models, testing them, and seeing the firsthand how machine learning works. So this hands-on physical computing approach makes abstract AI concepts and concrete and tangible for elementary students. So we have one more video, so let's watch this one too.
Seal.
Release.
Yeah, that works.
So then you need to explain your code to me and your teachable machine and what's inside this box. What's the code is doing?
So the code, so we put the code, this is like our voice code, and when we say conceal, the box conceals like the position servo, the top one goes down to 0, and the position servo 2, the bottom one, goes up to 90, and then the LED lights turn on. And then else, if he says release, because that's item number 3, and then so basically, okay, speak.
So yeah, just like everything he said, but what we did is we recorded the voice, he recorded conceal, I recorded release. So whenever he says conceal, this box will close. When I say release, it'll open. And it's really easy. Really
Yeah, it's
Do
like
it, do it again.
Okay. Seal.
Release.
Yeah, that works.
So then you need to explain your code to me and your teachable. So this video shows students working with our hummingbird robot to explore natural language processing. Students are learning how AI systems can process and understand language. So the students are working collaboratively, which is the key feature of our curriculum design. So they are discussing, testing, and refining their understanding together. So this collaborative approach mirrors how real computer scientists work and provide natural opportunities for language and literacy development. So this diagram illustrates how we conceptualize integrated curriculum. This is coming from our first project. So basically, integration and integrated curriculum is one of our biggest themes. So we don't want to just provide like any kind of like coding and computer science experience. So basically, students are learning about computer science concepts, but at the same time, this is embedded with language arts, maths, and science learning. So we are trying to make these computer science learning opportunities embedded in the context. So basically, this is providing much more, I think, genuine and classroom-friendly experiences for students. This, again, integrated curriculum diagram from our second program. Again, we are providing like AI concepts integrated with science, math, and reading and writing. So basically, we are trying to pay attention to like all the learning materials and curriculum that we are developing align with the standards. And so the codings and robotics is kind of a natural part of this elementary school curriculum. Okay, so again, to what extent our integrated curriculum is different from other curriculum? So basically, again, one is the integrated piece. So basically, computer science and AI is not like a standalone, a single subject. Like basically, it is embedded and integrated with the curriculum. So we are making really strong connections with the standards. It's not like an additive content, like an add-on thing. And then we are trying to basically provide context-based learning that, all these computer science concepts and AI is embedded in real life situations. Okay, so now Refika takes over.
Yes, hi everyone again. And of course, as a literacy and language educator, my role on our team was to include activities that focus on the four language domains: listening, reading, writing, speaking, and as well as literacy. And before I share some examples from our curriculum, I want to highlight that language and literacy are still at the heart of how students learn. And we all know that learning doesn't happen in isolation, it's a social process. And students build understanding by reading, writing, speaking, and listening to one another. And also by working together to make sense of new ideas and new concepts. And these practices remain essential even as AI feels new for many educators or classrooms. And as you can see on the slide, and as also we watch in the videos, our curriculum aims to create spaces where students work together, share ideas, and make sense of new AI related concepts through interaction and collaboration. Okay, and next slide, please. And now, so in our curriculum, each unit gives students opportunities to listen, speak, and reason together. For example, they discuss what they notice, look at pictures, watch videos, work in pairs or small groups, and make predictions, for example, about how an AI system or a tool might recognize images or make recommendations. And as students talk about these ideas and engage in discussions with their classmates, they expand their vocabulary and develop the language they need to communicate their thinking about AI. And this is how they start to develop AI skills. Of course, we all know reading students read short informational texts and children's books about AI concepts, the five big ideas of AI. And then they also write reflections or explanations using their full linguistic resources. And all of these activities help them process what they have learned throughout lessons, also build deeper meaning and develop both literacy and understanding of AI concepts. Okay, and next slide, please. And of course, in addition to these four language domains, our curriculum also includes a variety of multimodal supports, such as visuals, videos, movement activities to help students explore and understand AI-related concepts in different ways. For example, students label diagrams, act out processes, watch short videos, use graphic organizers, KWL charts, or exit tickets to show what they know and or what they have learned throughout the lessons. And most teachers are already familiar with these instructional strategies that we integrated into our curriculum activities. So teachers don't need to abandon what already works with their students in their classrooms. And strategies like building background knowledge, activating schema, using visuals, videos, or guiding students to engage in discussions still apply, just in a new context. So, in our curriculum, one of our main goals as a team to bring all of these strategies together to make AI accessible to all students. Because even in a world shaped by AI, students still learn through language by talking, reading, writing, and thinking together. And that's really how they build understanding through interaction and collaboration. And yes.
Thanks, Refika.
Thank
So
you.
let me briefly go over the pedagogical approaches that guide our curriculum development. First, we work in a design-based research tradition. So we design, field test in our Saturday STEM program, gather data and revise and repeat. So this iterative process ensures our curriculum actually works in practice. So we incorporate unplugged activities extensively because they reduce cognitive load and make concepts accessible before adding technological complexity. So we use block-based programming because it removes syntax barriers and lets students focus on logic and concepts. So PRIM is our core framework that code focused lessons, and students read code before writing it, which research shows is highly effective for novices. Another framework is TIP. TIP stands for Title, Instructions, Purpose, and Play. It's adapted from reading comprehension strategies and helps students approach code as text to be understood. Finally, collaboration is built into every lesson. Students always work in pairs, which supports both learning and language development. Next slide. So here is the website for our Saturday STEM program. So basically, we are testing all our curriculum materials and whatever we try for any project. So the Saturday STEM is the go-to place to test our curriculum materials. So this program has been running since 2013 and provides free STEM and computer science experience to students in grades 1 through 8 in Clark County. So students attend for 5 or 6 weeks each semester. So we use this program strategically before any units go into an actual classroom. So we pilot them here at UNLV first. We test the curriculum, take detailed notes, make rapid revisions, and ensure everything actually works with real students. So this gives us invaluable data before we scale up to multiple classrooms. Okay, next slide, Ezgi.
Hello again. Now I would like to share some example activities from our integrated computer science curriculum, which basically indicates how we use these pedagogical frameworks in our curriculum that Dr. Deniz mentioned. So before students learn how to code, how to program, we first use unplugged activities to teach basic computer science concepts. So here's a specific example of an unplugged activity that teaches the concepts of sequencing and algorithms, which is simply a sequence of steps to accomplish a task. So in this specific activity, students work in pairs to put instructions in the correct order for making a cheese quesadilla. So if you noticed, these instructions are not they're out of order. They're intentionally out of order because students need to read, discuss, sequence them logically. So by using this activity, students can explain what an algorithm is using this concrete and familiar example before they ever write a code. Next slide, please. So this is the snap programming, maybe you already saw in the videos. This is a programming environment we use to teach computer science concepts and program the Finch educational robotic. So this website is publicly available and it's completely free. Maybe some of you are already familiar with the Scratch programming. So basically, Snap programming is inspired from the Scratch programming, but it has additional capabilities for physical competing with robots. So that's why we chose that programming environment. So you can see the block-based coding interface on the left-hand side, where students drag and drop code blocks to create a program. So we integrate Snap programming with the Finch robot, so the student get instant feedback as the robot carries out their code. So this specific lesson shown here is about the concept of conditionals, using the macrobit buttons on the Finch. So students are here learning if and else logic. As an example, if button A is pressed, Finch moves forward, or else if button B is pressed, Finch moves backward. So here students need to put the remaining blocks in the correct order. Next slide, please. And in this example, you can see how we use the PRIM and TIP pedagogical frameworks to scaffold students' computer science learning. So before writing code from scratch, first students are given an existing program in the predict phase. They examine the code line by line and predict what will happen when, for example, the green flag is clicked. After that, students move into the Snap programming environment, as you can see in the second picture, and they examine the title, instructions, and the purpose of the program to have a better understanding of that specific program before executing it. Next slide, please. And after that, they run the program or play the program using the Finch robot to see whether their predictions about what the program does are correct. And after that, the next phase is the investigate phase. In this phase, students examine the same code, but this time they examine it more closely using some guiding questions and explain how and why each line of code works. And in the next phase, modify phase, they add new codes or make changes to the existing program to see how those changes affect the outcomes. And if you notice, we haven't asked students to create anything from scratch yet, because they're building understanding by reading, predicting, testing, and modifying. Only after going through all of these steps, students can reach the make phase where they can create original programs to solve new problems. Next slide, please. For example, in the make phase, they can create a code from scratch that programs the Finch robot to move through the stages of a butterfly's life cycle. So in this activity, students need to design an algorithm that moves the robot to each stage in order. This requires them to calculate distances, determine angles for turns, and use loops efficiently. And in doing so, they learn about a science concept, the life cycle, and also apply computer science concepts, including sequences, loops, and conditionals. Next slide, please. And also, they can have a lesson on polygons. In the make phase, they can create different shapes. So here's an example of the math integration, a lesson on polygons. Students write a code from scratch to make the robot draw different sizes of squares, rectangles, and triangles. And this requires students to understand properties of shapes, including interior angles, side lengths, and their relationships. For instance, the code shown at the bottom creates triangles using the repeat loop. And here you can see the same polygon lesson with the Finch robots on the physical mats. So they're using the Finch robot to draw shapes side by side. And also let me show you how we assess students' computer science learning. So we designed and provided CS props at the beginning and at the end of the lesson to see how their understanding of computer science concepts changes over time. So here's an example. The question asked here, which two steps are missing to program the Finch to reach the seat? So in order to answer this question, students need to watch a short video to see each step to find the correct answer. So this specific probe assesses the concept of algorithms, but we developed and presented the CS probes, computer science probes, for each lesson to be used as a formative assessment. And now I would like to turn it over to Dr. Kaya, who will present our new NSF grant on integrating AI into elementary science and engineering instruction.
Thank you, Dr. Yeşilyurt. Now let's transition to our newer AI-focused project. Briefly, machine learning is a subfield of AI that uses large amounts of data to create models that make predictions. And students encounter AI constantly, like face recognition on their phones, recommendation engines on Netflix and on Amazon when they are doing shopping, and language translation, like when they use Google Translate, and they keep generating images using DALL-E and other tools. And we are all familiar with the hype of LLMs and generators like ChatGPT, Cloud, and Google Gemini. So our curriculum helps students understand AI is not magic. We want to lift the hood. We want to lift and show them what is under the hood. And there are the systems that can be understood. They rely on based on lots of data, algorithms, and we train them and we put our values there. So again, as I mentioned, we want to lift what is under the hood, and importantly, we want our students not only the consumers of AI, critical thinkers and creators of AI. So we want to do it at a developmentally appropriate level. So we start as early as possible in elementary. I just want to show briefly like how does supervised machine learning looks like in this like simplified algorithm. Just like in this process, we start on the first column. We have labeled training data. It is our sample size with the labels and with the samples. In our case, they are rectangles and triangles. And students provide several examples from different angles with different lenses, close up, and for each category. This is a like binary classification example. And this data goes through the Google Teachable Machine. I'm just gonna show you a video shortly. How does the Google Teachable Machine work? It is our no-code tool that helps students like collect data in an accessible way. And it's a pre-trained model. It makes the heavy lifting there, and they train their models just like real computer scientists. And they test, they collect more data, they revise their data. And if it can classify correctly until they are satisfied with the accuracy, precision, and of their data. And after that, when they have the nice model, they deploy that model to Snap, and they start commanding their Finch robots. So Finch robots follows the curriculum, start classifying those like shapes, and based on that, it just like provides an action is the outcome of the like, and they can see real time how accurate their model is, how good their model is, and there are lots of opportunities to like discuss bias and is it working day and night, is it working in every classroom. So opportunities are endless for our students, and the goal here, the like for our students, they see the connection between the training data, quality of the training data they provide, the models they created, and the decisions that the robots make based on the data instead of explicit programming, just like the traditional programming experience. And they also experience firsthand that how those AI systems work, and their systems are only good as their training data. And it's just an important critical concept for AI literacy, so they can become critical consumers and creators of this technology, so we can have better models that solves better problems. Here is the like interface of the Google Teachable Machine, and it's completely free. It's a browser-based tool, no installation required. I think like we checked this also like you can safely use them in your classrooms. It doesn't collect the data. All the data is gonna be in your local machine. Students can create images, video projects, sound recognition projects, post projects, and in these photos they illustrate that students are using this tool, they really enjoy it, and students, they can train their models to recognize different objects, maybe different geometric shapes, maybe different animals, or different stages of a life cycle. Or in sound recognition projects, maybe they may choose to train models to recognize different sounds like bird songs. Or in pose recognition projects, the last one on the image, they train models to recognize different body positions. What is the good pose for a like soccer game? Or the interface is very intuitive. I'm gonna make a like small demonstration, and students simply provide examples for each category by using their webcam or clicking a button to capture training images, or just like uploading their recorded sounds, and they just click the train model. And within minutes, they have a working machine learning model, just like real computer scientists. They can test, revise, improve, and export it to use it in any languages. In our case, we are using Snow block-based programming environment, and they can create some actions with their robots. And we believe that it also democratizes AI. Students can become creators of this technology, not just consumers. So in the future, if they are inspired, they may choose to go to these jobs, or even if they don't want to become AI engineers, it influences each aspect of their lives. At least they will become like more critical citizens. So let's watch a video that my student created. She's Janelle, she's doing an amazing job. She just graduated this year, and she demonstrates here how Teachable Machine works.
Hi everyone, today we're going to be using Teachable Machine to learn about machine learning. So once we're on the site, we can click Get Started, and we're going to be doing an image project, and you can click Standard Image Model. And so what we're going to be doing for this project, of course you can use different objects, but for my project I'm going to be trying to differentiate between myself, Peppa Pig, or Pink Yoshi. So the way we're going to do this is we need to create separate classes for each object so that the computer can try and pick which object we're showing it. So for the first class, I'm going to make it Pink Yoshi. The next class is going to be Peppa Pig. And I'm going to add another class, and I'm going to call the class me. So the next thing we want to do is give the computer images of the Pink Yoshi so it can. So the next thing we want to do is give the computer images of Pink Yoshi to help it recognize the Pink Yoshi. So we're going to click webcam and then hold to record. And the more images we give it, the better our machine becomes. And then we're going to do the same thing for the other classes. So for Peppa Pig, there we go. And then for the background, which is just me, the next step is training our computer model, and this will just take a second. So now that our model is trained, we can try to see if the computer can recognize the different objects. So right now, since I'm on the screen, it recognizes that I'm on the screen and it shows that the output is me. Let's try Pink Yoshi. It gets that. Peppa Pig, Pink Yoshi, me. So our computer is great at recognizing all the different classes. If we gave our computer our machine more images, it would be even better. And we can add more classes too. So when you're doing this project, you can use any objects around your house. I just used these because they were laying around. Try to have fun with it because I do believe this is a fun project. Yoshi. Yeah, have fun and happy coding.
I provided some links. You will have access to these slides, and when you click on the slides, you can see tutorials. And please, take your time and enjoy with these tools. And if you are teaching, use it in your home or with your students. Believe me, I tested many times with my students. They all enjoy it and they learn the machine learning concepts. So I just want to show you here's a sample assessment question for AI literacy. This question assesses understanding of a fundamental AI concept like model performance depends on the quality of the training data and it is consistency. As remember from Janelle, she used to show images from different angles, zoomed in, zoomed out, so we have a better diverse data and it helped with the prediction score, which is our confidence level of it. This is a validated instrument from Jengalal. For researchers, feel free to use it. I'm happy to share the links to the papers so you can use those instruments in your studies. In this slide, I'm showing our adapted role identity survey for computer scientists, and students respond on a 3-point scale here: no, not sure, or yes. And we administered the survey before and after students experience our curriculum. And we think that the identity matters because it predicts persistence. Students who see themselves as computer scientists are more likely to pursue computer science opportunities in the future, and we can get them interested in these amazing creative jobs. And this is our student attitudes towards artificial intelligence survey that we adapted from Su et al. Study. Students responded on a 5-point Likert scale from strongly disagree to strongly agree. And as we know, as AI becomes increasingly prevalent in society, as I mentioned before, we need citizens who are informed, critical, and engaged. And by measuring attitudes, we can ensure that our curriculum is building positive, realistic attitudes about AI's possibilities and also limitations, is positive and harmful impacts in society. And in this slide, I'm showing our computer science teaching efficacy beliefs instruments designed for teachers. This is an adapted from the well-established science teaching efficacy beliefs instrument, and we measure here 2 dimensions: personal teaching efficacy and outcome expectancy. And we know from the literature that teachers with high confidence are more likely to implement new curricula and persist when challenges arise, and they provide more rich learning opportunities for our students. And we measure teacher efficacy before and after professional development and implementation, and to assist our teachers so they can implement those curriculum, and we provide consistent support for them. So they are doing an amazing job. We are working with amazing great teachers. They volunteer to take this task and implement the curriculum, and we received very constructive and very positive feedback. That's why it motivates us to continue this work.
Okay, thank you so much, Erdogan. So broader impacts. So our integrated CS curriculum is complete. So it's available in this URL. So you can also check this out using this QR code. So far, total 40 teachers in Nevada, Utah, and South Carolina participated in 30 hours of professional development, and they implemented this curriculum in their own classrooms. So we reached more than 800 students. So basically, this project is complete, but still, we have teachers and we are people that interested in this curriculum. Anybody who is interested in the curriculum can go to the website and basically start using this curriculum. And our curriculum materials for the AI literacy project will be available here. We are still right now testing those curriculum materials. So for example, last week, we tried our first unit in Saturday STEM program. Students get a lot of excitement. Basically, they didn't want to leave the classroom until, it was 12 o'clock. Their parents were waiting outside, but they don't want to leave the classroom. That was a really nice experience. So in this project, so we have a smaller number of teachers, but still we are providing them professional development, 30 hours or more. And then, so we want them to implement this curriculum. So professional developments most of the time happens during the summertime, but we also try to recruit teachers who can come to our campus during the spring semesters as well, the fall and spring semesters, and then implement them immediately after they have the experience in their own classrooms. So basically, these are the 2 projects. We get a lot of excitement and enjoyment out of working with teachers and students, and then working with our colleagues. So this is our experience so far. So what for the rest of the time? So we are going to open the floor for questions. So if you want to ask a question, you can raise your hand after watching this video. Sorry. So then we are going to answer those questions in the order they are received, and you can also submit your questions through the chat, so that we are going to monitor the chat and answer as many questions as possible from the chat. So let's watch this video, and then after the video, we are going to answer questions, and Yang Kim is going to help us to manage the questions order.
Doesn't keep going because there's no. They don't have not even using the sensor anymore. But yeah,
these are like some short videos from our previous projects, like students and teachers are like, using the Hummingbird robotics kit, using sensors and programming, and try to, come up with like solutions to like everyday problems. Like they also learn about like engineering design process when they are working on those kind of things. So our goal is like try to put together this science, math, engineering, and computer science learning in real world situations. So our contact information, you can see our contact information in this slide. And so you can also find our presentation slides from this QR code or from this short link. So now I think we are ready for the questions. Okay, so we are looking at the chat, and also you can raise your hand to ask a, live question. So then if there are no questions, maybe we can stop at this point, but you still have a chance to ask questions. Okay, the questions are coming, I guess. Okay. Yes, the curriculum is free, so you can go to the website and download anything that you want, and you can modify and customize the lesson plans and everything. Okay, there is a question about like what you learn about Kendall is asking this, Dr. Hartley, about teacher abuse and fear of AI. So I think, after teachers, like, they see the curriculum materials and then they basically try these ideas, and they also see students are trying the same ideas right next to them. I think that fear basically quickly dissipates. So I think, after like, going over that barrier, so they take a lot of enjoyment out of this. So I mean, the thing is, they come, we know that this is for real. Like, this is robotics and coding and AI. It's difficult and I may not be able to understand it. But the thing is, this is elementary material and students are doing this, getting a lot of enjoyment. When the teachers are seeing this, so they easily, I think, change their minds. So I think they come to us with very, in terms of their computer science or AI teaching efficacy beliefs, very low. But, I think within a short amount of time, they improve their confidence to teach AI and computer science very quickly. Thank you for that question, Kendall. Okay, there is a question about Saturday STEM sessions. So basically, what we do is like every spring and fall semester, so we email schools and CCSD charter schools, and we also put that information in our website. And so basically I try to recruit as many classes as possible. So basically it depends on who is willing to teach it. So generally we have like an elementary and middle school class, sometimes one upper elementary, one lower elementary, and one middle school class. That information is published in our website, and we are systematically sending that information to schools, so that parents are registering their students, and then they come here like between 9 a.m. and 12 p.m. on Saturday. So generally we have our classes here on College of Education classrooms. So generally like our grades between grade 1 and 8. So we rarely have a high school class. Okay. Yes, I am going to put that website. And also like in terms of sometimes like just it's not like we cannot easily like update our website, but if you happen to email me like at the beginning of each semester, I can give you like more up-to-date information. Okay, is this Saturday STEM program free as well? So the thing is, I for the last 10 more than like 12 years, so basically 90% of the time the class is free, because we get funding from NSF and other resources, and then so basically we are managing the program that way. Sometimes like we recruit our doctoral students to teach it, so then sometimes like it's based on the fee basis. So we register our students through the UNLV rank rebels and everything. But even if like we offer the class on a fee basis, maybe 10% of the time, we try to make sure that at least like 5 to 6 scholarships are available for that class too. So we try to offer it for free 90% of the time. But even if like we charge for any fee, we try to accept students based on the scholarship basis. And when the class is for free, what we do is like, for example, for our class that we are teaching right now, we had like 150 applicants and we only accepted 20. That means we do like a lottery. So we have used this, Google random generator so that we pick the numbers of students and this is like a lottery basically. Okay. Do you provide curriculum materials? So the thing is, if the teachers are working with us, so if we are collaborating, so we give them the computers, we loan the computers, but we give them the robots. So the curriculum is online, but in terms of robots, we basically, if a teacher commits to us, we provide them all the robots and materials and the picture books and everything. Yes. Yes, if you have more questions about Saturday STEM, just email me. I'm happy to like basically answer any questions and then like tell you about like which classes we are likely to open in the future. Yes, please feel free to email me about Saturday STEM. Yes, all the curriculum trainings, the teacher PD is basically like face to face, and we also have online modules that we are exploring. But here's the deal: like in our traditional sense, during the summer semester, we provide after we develop our curriculum, we provide teacher PD so that teachers can do it. But this semester, we are trying a different model. So basically, we are trying our curriculum, but at the same time, we invited teachers for the PD as well. So both students and teachers are in the same classroom in Saturday STEM. They are going through the same material, and teacher is seeing how the students are doing this, and they see their own struggles, but at the same time, they see how the students are approaching the material. So basically, after the class, like we basically stop and go over the materials and then receive their feedback, and we ask them like, do you want us to change anything? How did it go? So basically, like this is like a lab environment like for learning. So we have the curriculum, students and teachers are in the same classroom. So we are going to ask them to take this curriculum to their own classroom in the following semester. So basically we are going to be there still providing support. But the thing is, after this their own experience and seeing the students are like how they're engaging with this material, I think that it's going to be like much more likely to that they are going to be feeling much more confident in terms of implementing this with ease in their own classrooms. Yeah. Any other questions about? Oh, one thing that I like to mention. So the government shutdown is still continuing, but the thing is, before the shutdown, we received like two dear colleague letters. Everybody received this from NSF. So there is like a competition for students and teachers. Like this is like an AI competition that students are going to be developing a tool using AI to address a societal problem, and teachers are supposed to be developing AI lesson or AI unit to be implemented in their own classroom. So we are eligible to apply for this with our teachers. We are going to apply for like this teacher level funding and going to the national competition. And then the other one is with students. So our students are right now like developing, learning about like how to use AI to learn to solve how to solve like certain societal problems. And we want to apply to this national competition with our students as well. So hopefully our teachers and students are going to be successful, and then we can support them in this national competition. Okay. So I'm still watching the chat, and so Refika, Ezgi, and Erdogan, like, would you like to add anything to this?
Thank you so much for everyone for taking your time and being here with us. And we had a great time presenting. Hope to see you again in the upcoming webinars.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining. And also I share the link for the slides. If you have any difficulty in accessing them, let us know, please.
Yes, thank you all again for your time and joining us. It was a pleasure to explain what we are doing here in this webinar with you. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Yeah, again, like, this is like a really special occasion for me, like, presenting this work with our colleagues and then our former students, and they are like contributing to UNLV even after all these years. So this is great. So thank you for the invitation for this presentation. And again, like, we are going to be like providing, like right now we are working with 5 teachers, but we are going to be recruiting teachers and trying this curriculum, AI literacy curriculum with 20 teachers in Clark County. So we will be happy to be working with teachers and collaborating with them. Yeah. Okay, I think with that, if there is no other questions, so I think the session is over. Thank you so much for being here and enjoy the rest of your day.